performance coach of the Australian sailing team for the next Olympics is Iain Murray, better known as, I think, somewhat a very famous sailor, designer, whatever you name it in sailing is concerned, Ian's done it.
Yep.
I remember when he was in the 12s, the international 12s, I went out with Ted Thomas one day, and I think that was the start of his career as far as the 18s were concerned after that day. It was a very famous race, that one. Mate, you're back into the fray of the Olympics. How's it going?
Look, Australia's had a very successful Olympic program, for a couple of cycles of the Olympics now. Tokyo, looking forward to Tokyo. We're really trying to continue that success going forward. So, we've had a very good program. I've come into this program recently, and so there's nothing broken. It's just when I have probably a few different priorities, and we're just tuning. We're just on with the tweaker and a little bit more main sheet trim, and
you've got the spanner out, have you?
Yeah, got a different forward end, and we're.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, look, the top end of the Olympic sailors and the events, is like it's a wonderful experience, which is we've all chased it through our dreams through the Olympics. So to be sitting there and sitting in the armchair and sort of watching these guys and stuff is, it's a great opportunity for me. So, but down at the other end of high performance, it starts with the little kids and the pathways and underpinning programs, and all across the states of Australia, and then the support we give them. So I think there's a lot of areas there that we can make that better and give that focus, so that we keep our young kids, we get them going right, we track them from the beginning, and we bring them through the sport and have future champions.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I've got to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, we'll get to the 18s. What's the situation on the 18s at the moment?
I think the 18s had a stellar year last year. I think, with a strong fleet and the Kiwis' resurgence, high sort of quality fleet, and then you sort of add in, sort of modern media technology and drones and great footage. I think it just sort of really brought the 18s out a bit more as to, what a great boat and what a great class they are. And of course they're, evolving as they've always done, and there's some trials of some foils coming up, and and new boats getting built, and I think there's more crews than boats, so it's a strong situation.
Are you mentoring it in the 18s?
Well, I'm the patron to the club and the designer of the boats, so I just sit on the edges and scribble occasionally.
Now the America's Cup, seems to be going full swing, isn't it? We've got 4 teams, a couple on the wings.
Yeah.
What do you think of the evolution of that?
Well, look, it's a really big change. The monohull and the bigger boats again is a big change to where it got driven to out of the last 2 cycles. Look, the boats are out there. They're interesting, and there's a lot to take in with those boats, and how you get these boats up in foils. And as I do a lot of sailing on the bigger yachts, and we've had our experimenting on foils. So all I can say is
good luck.
The smartest guys in the world have got it all figured out. I'm just curious to see how it all works.
What sort of percentages are you putting on it working?
Oh, look, it's going to work. The question mark in my mind is, I just spent the last 8 years watching foiling boats, and I think it's the sort of the acceleration from displacement to foiling is the part that I'm having trouble, just calculating. And look, I've got an old hard drive. I haven't got one of those new digital ones. So I know the 72 footers needed, they were 22, 23 knots to get up on the foils, and boats last time are sort of 17, 18 knots, something like that. So, it's just how you get that monohull to go that fast, considering, wild oats don't go that fast that often.
Indeed, well, truly. Speaking of wild oats, this year's Sydney Hobart is going to be pretty interesting with 5 100 footers in it.
Well, I don't know what the numbers are, but I know that yeah, if you get 500 footers, which is probably all of them in the world, in the Sydney Hobart race, what a great race.
Mate, why is this? Do you understand what happened here? Look, all of a sudden, all the 100 footers ended up in the same pond. Yeah, that's unheard of.
Well, I think what's happened is, Europe's sort of, they've either gone like the Wally and those sort of high performance racer cruiser boats, or the very racy 72s or the TP50 circuits, have sort of dominated the area, and the 100 footers have all fallen down to a race that is very specifically good for them, like the Sydney to Hobart race and the Northern Circuit and our coastal racing. So I think it's just sort of an environmental thing that's brought them down here, and sort of, the great battles that have happened in the Hobart race have been a lure for these sort of boats, and yeah, that's kind of what we got.
Last year was pretty exciting when you got into the Derwent River, though.
Well, the excitement was getting down the Tasmanian coast,
to be in that position,
yeah. Yeah, going downwind in 32 knots of wind and full, everything that you've got up in the air, and sort of going dead downwind at, 25 to 35 knots of boat speed. That's the exciting part of the race.
But I must admit, standing on the media boat, taking a photograph of you, a video of you going past Comanche, just sitting there, that was
doing about 3 knots.
That was sensational.
Oh, look, it was a classic finish to the race. The hare and the tortoise sort of thing. But look, it was great for the people of Tasmania. They put a lot into the race, and to have the two leading boats coming down the river together and swapping positions, that's a fairy tale storyline, isn't it?
It certainly was. Yeah, it was great footage. Mate, congratulations on your, what number are you?
I'm at my very lucky 159.
159? Good lad. So congratulations on your Barrenjoey pin, Mr. Number 159.
Yeah.
And we look forward to talking to you further in the year, and especially around Hobart time.
All right, look forward to it.
Thanks, Ian.
Bye.
Thanks, mate.